girl Nick, and I am in the kitchen. I'm cooking, but that's not why I'm popping in tonight. I'm in the kitchen because I actually told you guys that I would bring you a video about my kitchen essentials. So y'all remember a while back I did a video about unitaskers, and you guys loved that video, and you liked chiming in about the unitaskers. It all started with that daggone egg cooker, which I still don't like. I still don't like it. But anyway, starting with the egg cooker, and then I went on to talk about what were unitaskers in the kitchen and what were not unitaskers in the kitchen. So you guys love that so much, and you guys did ask me about talking about things that I find to be essentials in the kitchen. So that's why I'm popping in today to talk about essentials. I also am cooking, so there's that. And by the way, let me go ahead and just put on my apron. I have some of my ingredients back there ready to go for dinner tonight, but I'm gonna go ahead and put on my apron so that you guys don't think I'm cussing at you. I'm not. My shirt. I'm not cussing you. I'm not. This is just one of my favorite shirts ever. So, we're going to talk about some of my kitchen essentials if you are, a new homeowner, or you are just getting into cooking for yourself and for your loved ones, or if you want to get into it, things that you really do need in the kitchen. I feel like they're necessities for me. They're things that I use every day. And that I use for multiple different things. So the egg cooker we use for nothing other than making eggs. There's like a little booklet full of recipes where you can use it to cook salmon. But my salmon is not in the shape of a circle like this, so I can't make that in that little egg cooker. Anyway, without further ado, you guys, let's get into it. I have my glass of wine here, and I have some of my things out. The very first thing I'm going to talk to y'all about. Oh, first of all, I'm going to break this up into probably 2, maybe 3 different videos, because I do want to talk about actual cookware. I want to tell you, I don't want to just tell you what I use, but why. And then I want to talk about cookware and utensils, and then small appliances. The second thing, small appliances. And then thirdly is ingredients like seasonings and oils and things that can be used for all different things. So anyway, now let's get into it. First things first, and y'all had to know this was coming. The cast iron skillet. Of course, you can make a whole chicken in this thing, and you can make it on the cooktop, you can make it in the oven, you can make it on the grill. Over the holidays last year, Thanksgiving and Christmas, we were without an oven. I made a chicken, whole chicken, just sliced it right open in this cast iron skillet. Cornbread. We're Southerners. Cornbread in the cast iron skillet. I've made dessert in this cast iron skillet. I make cranberry tart in here every holiday. And then, of course, I have a tiny version of it. It's so cute. She's so cute. This is great when you're serving a special meal. Sometimes for hubby's birthday, I will make him cauliflower smashed potatoes and serve it in here, and it's like so special. So, cast iron skillet. Number 1 in the kitchen. Very closely followed by number 2. Let me show you what it is. It's kind of heavy, so give me a minute. My Dutch oven, baby. The Dutch oven is a close number 2 to the cast iron skillet. My Dutch oven has seen all the things. Look at that inside. Soups, stews, casseroles, rolls. Look at that. I mean, she does all the things. And she's pretty. Everybody loves their Le Creuset. This one is from Chantal. Yes, I love her. And in the fall, she has pretty much a permanent place on the cooktop. But she's second because same thing, just like the cast iron skillet, stovetop, oven, you can do anything in this Dutch oven. And that's not to say it has to be a Chantal. It doesn't have to be a Le Creuset. It just a good Dutch oven that holds up to the elements. This is a necessity in the kitchen because it can do so many things. So that's number 2. Let's see. Let's go on to number 3. The everything pan. You must have an everything pan. This high sides. My cast iron skillet has high sides as well, and also has pour spouts. I'm so sorry. Pour spouts. The everything pan has even higher size. It's not non-stick, whereas the cast iron skillet is non-stick because it's seasoned, and the more you use it, the more non-stick it is. This is not non-stick, but you can cook all the things in here. Look how deep that is. I make my chicken and pilaf rice in here. 1 dish meals all go in here. I have a top. I have made pasta in here because it's deep enough to fill with water and put some pasta in the bottom. Put the sauce in there, do all these things. Everything pan. Everybody needs one of these in their kitchen. So this is my 3rd necessity in the kitchen. Number 4 is a 2-for-1. So everybody needs a good sauce pot, right? You need a good sauce pot. This is a standard, I think this is like a 2-quart, maybe 3-quart sauce pot, but it has an insert. The insert is basically a steamer. It's like a steamer basket. See there? And so I make broccoli in here, and you could also like steam something up top and have something else cooking on the bottom. Anything that doesn't need to touch the water, this works so great. And it's, like I said, a 2-in-1, so you're getting double for your money on this. And it's stainless steel, so it will last forever. You also have a top to it, and the top is ventilated. So that's my next kitchen essential. And I wouldn't even bother with getting a small version of this. Just this version, you can cook rice in here. You can cook anything that you need with just this one pot. And then I also have a larger version of this for when you do like seafood boils. I'll show you that next. All right, y'all. I never knew I needed this until I needed this. This is one of my BAPs. My BAP big ass pot. It's a BAP. Originally, this was the pot that I used for gumbo. And then I got another pot for gumbo and soups for large gatherings. I'll show you that in a minute. Which is also, it's not a necessity, but it is a nice to have. But this one here is like, this is everything. So let me show you. This is the pot. It's big. This is the bottom pot. It has a top. Let me see if I can get the top off. So here's the top. That's the top. Glass. You can see what's going on inside of there. It has a strainer, so you can steam things on the top. This is the big deal. So when I'm doing a seafood boil, I fill up the bottom. I fill this up with water, and that's all I put in the bottom. All the way up, and then I stick all of my ingredients in this big old strainer basket and stick it down in there. Shrimp goes in here, sausage, potatoes, onions, garlic, all these things go in here. And I put that on the cooktop, and that's what I boil in. If I'm serving a crowd, we're trying to do something fun, we just want to have a seafood boil, you never know you need one of these until you have one, and then you're like, where has this been all my life? And that's how I felt about this. Like I said, the strainer basket is an added bonus, and this can fit into like your crock. I have different versions of that crock pot that I showed you earlier, the red Chantal crock pot. And this will fit into those. So if you need to like steam something on top, you can. And then you have the top, of course. And it all just works out absolutely amazingly. Now, let me show you this really quickly. Hold on one second. Oh no, here it is, it's right here. This pot, I started making my gumbos in this pot. The thing you will notice is at the bottom, I need to clean that. I'm gonna use some Bon Ami to clean that. The bottom is smaller than the top. The top is huge. What this allows me to do is put this on my large burner on my gas cooktop, and I get full coverage on the bottom, full coverage. And then I still have a lot of space up top to stir and move things around. So this is my new gumbo pot. Stew pot. I can do other things in here, but I call it my gumbo pot because it's perfect for that. And this one was courtesy of my mommy. I love her. And it's pretty. Look how pretty she is. Lord Jesus, she's pretty. So anyway, that's the last one. That's that. And like I said, I have multiple versions of some of these things. I have multiple versions of the stock pot. I have multiple versions of a skillet. Speaking of skillets, let's talk about this though. You have to have a nonstick skillet. This one I love. She's small and she's good for small servings. I love frittatas. My husband does not. My son does. So I'll make a small frittata in here. And then when I'm making like my fish tacos, I will use a larger non-stick skillet. So a non-stick skillet has its place in the kitchen. I don't really love coating so much, but they have their place in the kitchen because this makes life so easy when you're making eggs over easy, when you're making a frittata, sometimes even when you're just cooking bacon. So, speaking of bacon, let's talk about this for a hot minute. You need a griddle in the kitchen. As you can see, mine is very well loved, but you need a griddle in the kitchen. Yes, you can make your bacon in the oven, but when you're serving a large crowd, this griddle is your best friend. I also have a plug-in griddle, which I love, but this, just a griddle that can go over the stovetop, over any gas, electric, induction stovetop, that is my preference. These things are gold. You can make pancakes on here for a crowd. You can make eggs, bacon, steak, all these things on a griddle for a crowd. So this is another kitchen essential, whether it's plug-in or whether it goes on the cooktop. Now that we're talking about this and talking about making things in the oven, you have seen this next one when I make my cookies. I had several people ask about this one and where I got this big ass sheet pan. That's what that is. That's a big sheet pan. This is a half sheet pan, and this makes life so easy if you bake or if you make sheet pan meals, which I will be showing you one of those this week because I like to do those during the week. Makes things really quick and easy. Cleanup is really simple. You need a half sheet pan. This sheet pan, look at that. It's wider than me. And it is as wide as my oven. I can put all the things on here. I can even separate things. I have separated things by putting parchment paper on here and just sticking the whole thing in the oven. Everything's done at once. No oil, no anything. Gotta have one of these in your kitchen. In addition to other size baking sheets, of course. You don't have to have this to bake cookies and make sheet pan meals, but I have noticed that it's made a big difference in my kitchen. So that's another one that's an essential. Okay, you guys, so these last three are not necessarily essentials, but they are really, really nice to have in the kitchen. So let's talk about it. So at least once a week, sometimes more, I do some type of an Asian fusion dish, and that is where my non-stick wok comes into place. It's just nice to have because when you're making, if you like dishes like from all over, when you're making anything that needs to cook really fast, a non-stick wok makes it really easy. You can even make soups in here. You can even make stews in here. I've done that before, but in general, I make stews in my Dutch oven. But this is a really nice to have because You can cook a meal really quickly. You can take leftovers and turn them into something amazing in a nonstick wok. So that's a nice to have. This baby here, she looks funny. She looks really funny. Initially, this was meant to be like a pancake pan. You pour your batter in, let it cook, flip it over, let it cook, and open it up and it just slides right out. Now, Avery is learning to cook, so I use this to make things like quesadillas, grilled cheese, omelets, all these things. They just slide right out because the inside is nonstick. Beautiful, love it. And it stores easily. Flip flop, when you're ready, you don't have to take out a spatula. You just flip it and flip it. And Avery loves it. So this is just a nice to have because you can do all the things in here without it sticking. That's awesome. And this last one, this is the last one, I promise, I think. This is the last one. This I inherited from my grandmother, actually. I don't think I ever would have bought this on my own, but I'm glad I have it because it does so many things. This is, I don't know what they call it. It's from Gotham Steel, and it's a sauce pot. It's square, though. It's square. Look, it's square. I need to clean this one with Bon Ami, too, apparently. But anyway, it's square. Has a top, so of course you can make a soup or a stew in here. But here's what I love about it. When I'm blanching vegetables, it has a little strainer basket that sits down in here. You can also fry using this. And the strainer basket, when you're done with doing whatever you do, it just sits on the side. This is a handle that goes on the side of the strainer basket. I'm not gonna put that on, but it just goes on the side like this, so you can just lift it up and lift it out. And then everything kind of just nests inside like such. Another thing that it has is this little, I call it a landing pad. That's what it is. You see the little feet there? So when you sit it inside of the pot, whatever you put on top of it is elevated off of the pot. If you have poaching liquid or broth or oil down in there, it sits up on top of that, so it's not sitting in that liquid. And then you just, lift out whatever you're gonna use. And then all of this for storage just nests right inside. Easy breezy. And I never knew that I would love this, but the few times when I do want to fry things, this comes in handy. When I'm blanching my vegetables, I bring things out from the garden. I want to blanch and freeze. That basket works perfectly for this. So, I think that's it for the cookware. I think, like I said, I have multiple versions of each of these things. But in terms of cookware, those are my essentials. And those things I can use for multiple different things, as you heard me speak about. Look at that gumbo pot. She's so pretty. I love it. Just pretty. Anyway, next time we'll talk about utensils, I think. Utensils, and maybe I can get the utensils and some of the ingredients on the same video. So, until that happens, you guys, I will talk to you later. Bye.